Hey everybody, this is James at Jackson Systems. Thanks for joining us for this happy hour. We've got a great one today. Our buddy Gary from Resideo is here, and we're going to open up and see what's in this box. And I'm not really sure what it is. Got a picture here. I don't know if that's some big pill from Dr. Mario, or I don't know what it is, but we're going to find out. I'm sure it's another great product from Resideo. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to having you join us. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Systems Happy Hour. I am James Yarnell, filling in for JD, who is on vacation in Florida right now. Lucky guy. And this here is my pal, my colleague, and my concert buddy, Gary Crosby from Resideo. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man.
And we're here for another happy hour. This means we have to have some beverages. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so Gary mentioned this before the camera started rolling. We recently went down to, he treated me like the guy is, great guy, to a Colts game versus the Titans down in Nashville a few weeks ago.
And the Colts won.
The Colts won. Cheers to that.
And sorry, my Tennessee friends. I root for them when they're not playing the Colts.
Had a great time in what I believe was probably one of the hottest NFL games on record.
It actually was the hottest game on record.
I could tell. It felt like I was in a broiler.
At one point, I had a $90 bill for just bottled water. I got the receipt.
It was like 3 bottles of water.
My boss looked at my receipt, my expenses, and she goes,
"Yeah,
you bought a lot of water."
Yeah,
it's
well,
usually she's complaining because you bought a lot of beer, but
it was
a hot game.
It was a hot game, but we had a blast.
And Colts won.
And the Colts won. And furthermore, on the way home, on the about 5.5-hour trip to get from Nashville to Indianapolis here, we stopped for gasoline, and one of the gas stations there, somewhere in Tennessee or Kentucky, I can't remember.
And we were parked.
We were parked. Well, there was this large Indian statue,
That James
Native
had
American,
to have a picture of.
Native American, excuse me, statue, and I thought it was rather funny. So I wanted to get out and get a picture of it. Gary pulled over to let me out to get this picture of the statue, and meanwhile, this trucker happened to just back right into Gary's, semi, backed right into Gary's vehicle. I saw the entire thing, thought it was rather funny.
It was not funny.
But it was not funny when we had to wait for about 2 or 3 hours for the cops.
The police report.
Yeah.
So that got us home really late at night.
Yeah.
Which gave you an excuse to not come in for the first couple of hours.
Yeah, I got to go. Well, it helps when your boss is in the vehicle with you. So anyways, that was a great time. Lesson learned. So if you're ever in a gas station and think twice about pulling over to take a big picture of a statue.
So I got something new for you today.
What'd you bring us?
It's a box.
Oh,
okay?
well, yeah.
So we're going to do a little unboxing here today on
Okay.
Happy Hour. So James, have you ever had water damage at your house?
Not yet, but that probably means I'm due.
So I have, and it was my fault. I'm not a plumber, so I tried to do some plumbing, and it didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
I got some water damage. Also had a toilet overflow once, and it got all over my carpet. And, well, it was clean water. It's just
okay.
It's just something happened, and I think it was my daughter put too much toilet paper in it, didn't flush all the way, and I had a small leak anyway. So I was out of town, and it just goes over, and there's nowhere else for it to go. So
What a nightmare.
got wood floors out of the deal, but I had to call my insurance to get some. I had to pay the deductible, which was like $1,900.
Choo.
But they paid for the rest of it. But anyway, it still stinks to have water damage, right?
Sure.
So what Resideo came out with is the new whole house water controller, the Buoy whole house water controller that ties to your app, the same app we run the Honeywell thermostats on.
I've got that.
Right? So you'll be able to add this when it ships in a couple of weeks to your main, but get a plumber to do it. Okay?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
And so if you had any water leak going on in your house, it would shut that water main down, so you're not going to have that property damage.
Nice.
So you ready to take a look at it?
I am. Gary Crosby.
It got sent to me. This is not available yet. So the first thing in the box is going to be the actual Buoy water whole house water controller, right?
Okay.
Give you a little goodie bag for it.
Thank you.
It actually looks like a buoy.
It does.
Right? So, but what's inside of it is really the magic, right? So on the blue end, that's where your water intake would come in from the street. Right?
Okay.
And if you think about in your house where your water main valve is, most of the time it's where your washer and dryer usually are. There's usually a handle there, like a Nibco
There is.
handle. And there's sometimes a loop where your water softener's over there beside it.
Yep.
So that's generally where these areas are. Some houses are different. And you may or may not have a plug by those, right? If it's in a washer and dryer area, there's usually a plug there.
Yeah.
But it could easily be in the bottom part of a basement where it comes in from the street and then goes up the wall, and there's a shutoff valve there. There may not be electricity. So this thing is going to take care of those for you. So on the front end of this is a stainless steel industrial shutoff valve.
Okay.
So it's really, really heavy duty. You can't open this to service them. We've got special screws in there to keep you from opening that up.
Okay.
On the other side is a 4-magnet, it's a nice 4-magnet meter, and it's an industrial meter. So it's the same type of thing you'd use, that your utility might use to measure how much water use is going on in your house. But it detects the water flow. And what it does is after you put this thing in for 2 weeks, James, it actually learns the usage of your house. So if you're using if you've got a bunch of kids, you're using your showers a lot, it'll know that. Or how many times you flush a toilet a day even. And it'll learn which of those appliances they are by the water use and how the flow rating that's in there.
Okay.
So in our analytics that we have in the cloud that all this information's getting sent up to, it compares it against other devices all over the nation where these devices are from, and actually learns how to aggregate out that bulk of the water use and tell you what's going on.
Okay.
So now how does it detect a leak? Well, if the toilet that it's been looking at for the last 2 weeks starts running water all the time, then it's going to determine that there's a small leak in that toilet and actually tell you on the app that, warning, you've got a low level leak at your toilet. So that may not shut the unit down, but if it did it for a long time, it's going to eventually shut it down. If you had like a water main, like up underneath your sink, let's say that the pipe busted on you, well, it's going to know that right away that there's a rupture because there's too much water leaving too fast out of that sink area, and it's going to shut it down within a shot glass worth of water being correct.
Wow. Well, I have a nasty habit recently of watering the garden outside, and I always forget to turn off the hose. It'll tell me if I do that.
It will do that. So also, like if you have a hose that leaks, right? So right there where it's blowing water out. So you got your hose on, but it's got a tip on the end that's like your little sprayer, right?
Yep.
So let's say that's not, the water's on, but it's leaking out of there. It will tell you that's leaking.
Man,
because you might have forgot to turn that off, right?
that water bill wasn't fun.
And so we don't want it to be a nuisance. So like if you're doing normal activities with washing clothes or something like that,
Sure.
or you're pressure washing your driveway, there's also some customized things you can do in there so it won't be such a nuisance to you. So you can say, well, don't warm me unless it gets to this level of use, and then, hey, there's going to be an issue.
Okay.
I was pressure washing my driveway. It noticed that I was using 60 gallons of water too fast and said, are you using that, or do I need to shut it down? And I said, remind me in 2 hours because I got to finish my driveway.
Okay. Wow.
So very, very cool stuff. Now, I haven't seen, last time I was at your house, when we were working on your furnace, I didn't notice where your main comes in.
It's right there at the bottom of the stairs.
Is there a plug by it?
I believe so.
So let's say there's not.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we package a battery with this. The battery's a lithium-ion battery that you charge it for 2 hours.
Okay.
And it'll last a year. So if the power goes out, it's going to always run.
Wait, you charge it for 2 hours and it'll last a year?
It gives you a 1 year charge with a 2 hour.
I wish my phone was like that.
I know, right? That would be awesome. But it's so the reason that we got that battery in there is because you may not have a plug nearby.
Right.
So the plumber may have they may not have any idea about being electrical. So they'd either have to bring somebody over, or they could do it themselves to run a plug. Or you could just plug the battery in for 2 hours, put it in there, and the next 6 months you come back for a plumbing maintenance on the water heater or whatever, you can recharge it for the homeowner again.
Nice.
So it makes it really nice. If the power goes out or you're over in the laundry room or whatever, and you don't have your phone, but there's let's say the washing machine cold water hose busted off right there in front of you. Well, you could hit that red button there, and that'll override everything and shut the valve off for you if you're near it.
Okay.
But it is app driven, right? So
Sure.
You download, and now the app that's going to be released with this is going to be called the Resi app. R-E-Z-I.
R-E-Z-I.
Resi. So play on Resideo, but it's also residential. But it's also going to be the app that's going to bridge the Honeywell TCC,
Total
right?
Connect
The
Comfort.
one we use for Red Link thermostats, and the Honeywell Home, which we use for the T series,
T10, T6.
Yep. So those are going to be all incorporated into this Resi app.
Okay.
So now the Buoy home controller will be the first item on the app. The second thing will be the water leak detectors that currently we use on the Honeywell Home app. Because not only can this thing learn your water use and shut it down based on the flow rates, it can also be used with the Honeywell water leak detector. So if you got those placed in an area, because this is just going to shut off the main.
Right.
But if I got a drain downstairs, it has nothing to do with the main water coming in.
Right.
So I still want to get those alerts. But if I've got a drain pan and I've got a water heat, let's say I've got a humidifier that's right there, and I've got that, let's say the water heater was to start leaking, well, I'd want that buoy to get that alert and start, because it don't know if it's filling it up or what. So I definitely want to get that alert out of that drain pan.
Absolutely.
So it'll shut that main off, or give me the option to shut it off remotely. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So we've been waiting on this item a long time, and it's almost here, just a couple more weeks.
I like the look of it. It does look just like a buoy, like hence the name, and it's all right there in that compact little pill, I guess, huh?
Yep, and the more money you save on not having water damage, the more of these Coors Lights you can buy.
That's
or
right.
the more of those Yinglings.
That's right.
So let's talk about my beer. Why did I choose a Coors Light? Because it's still daytime, and if I was golfing, I'd probably be drinking that.
Yeah.
So anything real heavy, I'm a lightweight day
Yeah,
drinker.
Yingling's not too bad, too heavy. It's not like it's not like an IPA or anything like that.
So here's a fun fact. So Smokey and the Bandit was kind of, the whole storyline was around Coors, right?
Coors original for the wedding.
Because it was bootlegging on
beer and
on
Texarkana.
on this side of the Mississippi,
Yep.
right? Well, Yingling's kind of funny because
You couldn't get it.
You couldn't get it in Indiana till last
A couple
year?
years ago.
Was it last year?
Yeah. Alex is looking at me like
And it was kind of the same thing, right? Where it wasn't quite bootleg.
Yeah.
But you couldn't buy it.
So whenever anybody from here went out east or like went down to Florida, you got Yingling.
They just go crazy.
Act
Oh,
like,
they got Yingling.
You know, forbidden fruit is the sweetest.
And people in Pennsylvania are like, so?
Yeah, we can't get this.
Yeah, but we don't have it. So it's kind of that same thing with
That's
Coors,
right.
I guess.
That's right. Well,
here's to
absolutely.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Absolutely.
And here's to Yingling.
Yeah, and Coors
and here's to being able to shut off your water automatically, because that's a big deal. And where can people get these, James?
You can find this product and all the other great products from Resideo and Honeywell at Jackson Systems. Just go to www.jacksonsystems.com, probably where you're watching this video. We have all great products there, and if you need pricing or availability, don't hesitate to give us a call. And with that, thank you for your time, sir, and I look forward to the training we're going to do tonight, the webinar. And thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to smack that like button below. And if you want notifications on brand new videos that are coming out tailored just for you, be sure to subscribe right here to the Jackson Systems YouTube channel. Now, if there's some videos you missed, you can always check it out right here. Go ahead and click subscribe. Other videos, like.